Welcome to Rate the Audits, where we put misconduct on display, explore police and legal content, protect rights and demand accountability. This episode is brought to us by DP Audits. Be sure to check the link below and subscribe to his channel and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, Auditor DP Audits captures one of the most shocking displays of police misconduct yet. While calmly filming an officer being disrespectful to a member of the public, DP steps in and urges the officer to show some professionalism, but is violently shoved to the ground, injuring himself in the process. Rather than take accountability, the officer doubles down and threatens to arrest him. A huge legal claim is coming, and this officer potentially may get fired.
Listen, I ain't got time for this.
Don't speak to me like that.
Come and speak to me, yeah? Right. You've been causing some issues.
No, he ain't. He hasn't.
I've talked to him. Okay, I'm not you.
Calm yourself down.
Away.
Calm your attitude down. Speak to the public with respect.
Listen, go away.
I'm telling you to calm down.
Go away.
Yeah, I'm DP Audits. Respect.
Thank you.
I'm carrying on all I want. Speak to the public with respect and integrity like you're meant to. Why is there no police here?
Go and speak to the inspector.
You call through now and tell him to send
No, you don't tell me what to do, pal.
Oh, shut your attitude up as well,
Right,
you. Wind your neck in. Wind your neck in, yes.
Wind my neck in.
Yeah, you're the police officer. See that? That's a claim and a half. You're getting a claim against you. You little You're losing your job, you little...
Yeah, you think so?
See that, guys?
That's assault.
Witnesses, yeah?
You do nothing wrong.
You assaulted me.
Right.
On camera.
Whoa.
Yo, he's off his head. He can't be a copper.
Whoa.
That's... Oh, look at that. Look at that. Wind your neck and look how bad he is.
When the auditor challenged his rude and aggressive behaviour, simply telling him to calm down and wind his neck in, the officer didn't respond like a professional. He responded like a thug in uniform. Using that level of force, shoving someone to the ground over words is completely disproportionate and indefensible. What makes it worse is the mindset behind it. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment reaction to danger. It was a conscious decision to assert dominance through physical intimidation because someone questioned his attitude. That isn't policing, it's ego-driven violence. Officers are meant to handle scrutiny with calm and restraint, not lash out because they don't like being called out in public. And the fact that this happened in front of a lot of civilians only adds to the disgrace. Instead of setting an example, this officer showed exactly what happens when someone with authority can't handle accountability.
Go away.
Nah, I'm in public. Shut your mouth and your attitude up. You're a public of the servant, a servant of the public.
Okay.
There's no, you're breaching the peace.
You ain't spraying him.
Okay.
You ain't spraying him. And I'm doing nothing wrong.
No, you're not. You speak to him like that's what you're doing. You don't get to speak to public like that. You don't get to speak to people like you're speaking to him. That's not how your role works. You're a police officer of the law, serving the crowd and serving the people. Respect and integrity. Remember your oath and your college of peace in training. You're absolute disgrace. The way you push me over now, you're getting a claim against you. You're getting sued.
Right.
You should lose your job for that as well.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see, won't we? And you're going to be all over the internet. Do you know how many people are going to see you? You're live now.
Good for you.
Welcome to YouTube, you How about that?
Okay, swear at me once more, I'll lock you up.
Higher threshold. Is there any complainants? Is there any complainants for my swearing? Any complainants? Your officers need to arrest you.
Okay.
You assaulted me.
Right.
You need to arrest your fellow officer. Section 26, he just pushed me on the ground, threatened me with power for telling him to rax himself. Now, arrest your officer now.
The auditor demands that their colleague should be arrested under Section 26 of the Criminal Justice and Courts Act 2015, which makes it a criminal offence for a police officer to abuse their powers or commit misconduct while on duty. In this case, the auditor was assaulted not during a volatile arrest or in response to a threat, but simply for challenging the officer's unprofessional behaviour. This situation mirrors the case of former South Wales police officer Richard Helling, who was convicted under Section 26 for abusing his position to exploit vulnerable individuals. Helling's actions, like the officers in this incident, were not about enforcing the law, but about misusing authority for personal ends. The conviction in Helling's case underscores the seriousness with which such abuses are treated and sets a precedent for accountability.
You're online on YouTube, you're going on YouTube, you don't do your jobs correctly, you're going to look like idiots. Nah, he's assaulted, assaulted me, mate.
We need to work out what's gone on.
He's pushed me, his foot to me like that because he was speaking to him like Club and told him to speak to members of the public respect like you're meant to and professionally, and that is the worst example. He needs to be fired, he's getting sued or we're putting a claim against him. That was outrageous. Arrest him. Arrest him. Do your job. The College of Policing tells you to arrest him.
You need to relax. You need to calm down.
You need to arrest him.
You hear? You need to talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
What's
obviously
happened?
dealing with.
He
the
was talking to him,
situation.
and the way he was speaking to him was disgusting. The way you do not speak to members of the public like that. The way he was disgusting. Everything about him was disgusting. He's going to get. Do you know how many views he's going to do online now?
Well, listen.
He'll go viral with the way that was. That was one of the worst situations I've ever seen. I've done this for a year now. You need to arrest him.
Okay, well, we're not going to arrest him. But
You're not going to arrest your colleague when he's just broke the law and assaulted a member of the public.
But you're entitled to make.
What does your College of Policing treat you at the beginning?
Listen, the more you
When you're
shout-
call your officers. No, you listen to me.
Well,
He has assaulted me and broke the law.
I'll listen to you. You're entitled to make a complaint online.
You're getting sued, mate.
Okay?
Look at him. Look
Number
at him.
one lesson, don't
at him.
come in my personal space.
Instead of acknowledging any wrongdoing or engaging with the auditor's legal challenge, he plays the victim card, as if his personal comfort takes precedence over the public's right to accountability. In reality, officers are trained to remain composed in tense situations. Personal space isn't a legal justification for assault, especially from someone wearing a badge and sworn to uphold the law. This mindset, where an officer feels entitled to use force simply because they're uncomfortable, is a dangerous one. It's not about safety, it's about power, and when challenged on that power, this officer didn't de-escalate, didn't explain, didn't walk away. He pushed someone to the ground and then rationalized it with a flimsy made-up rule. That's not policing, that's misconduct, plain and simple.
Look at him.
Okay?
Right,
Have a good
identify
day.
yourself.
7459.
Name, station.
Okay, don't need to give my
Yes, you do.
No.
Three forms. You've used your powers against
Okay.
me. Three forms of identification.
Don't point at me.
I'll point like I
Don't
want.
point at me.
No.
Yeah.
Three forms of identification. You're going to push me again, are you?
If you can put in my space, yes.
Oh, you're in my space now. What would happen if I
Oh,
pushed
what I'm
you?
doing? Well, you can try.
Ah, see what I mean?
Yeah.
See this, people?
Yeah?
You're welcome
Alright,
to
have a-
YouTube.
Have a good day.
What's name and fucking station
Have a
as
good
well?
day, sir.
Name and
Thank you.
station. I don't know. On his name and station, he's got to give three forms of identification.
Under the College of Policing guidelines, officers must identify themselves when asked, providing name, rank, and station, especially in a use of force situation. This isn't a courtesy, it's a safeguard designed to protect the public from abuse and allow them to hold officers accountable. He's just committed an act of violence and now he's making himself untraceable. This undermines trust, transparency, and the very foundation of policing in a democratic society. For a member of the public to seek justice, they need to know who wronged them. Without that, misconduct goes unchecked. This officer's refusal to identify himself after such a serious incident isn't just arrogant, it's calculated, and there's another act which is utterly indefensible.
Have a good day. You ain't going to have a good day when it follows through on you. Welcome to YouTube as well.
Thank you.
Look at this guy. Look at him. Look at the state of him.
Really?
Yeah, the state here.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Have a good day.
Absolute.
Cheers. Swear at me again, I'll lock you up.
Because you can't use a higher threshold. You can't lock me up for that.
Really?
Yeah, section 5.
Really? You think so? That's it, you can walk him back.
See, he was going to arrest me, guys. Will, sort him out, man. He's horrible, mate.
Right there, how's it going?
Him, he pushed me over there. His attitude stinks. He's threatening to arrest me, powder spray me. The opposite of you. He needs to be sacked. He needs to be arrested. He should be arrested by fellow officers under your College of Policing to protect members of the public. He should be arrested for that.
Let's be clear, the auditor had just been assaulted. He was shaken, hurt, and outraged, a natural emotional response after being physically attacked by a public servant. Swearing in that context is not harassment or disorder. It's an expression of distress. For the officer to immediately respond with, "Swear at me again and I'll lock you up," is not just unprofessional, it's abusive. Also, the law rightly holds police to a higher threshold because of their role and training. They're expected to have thicker skin, to be calm under pressure, and to de-escalate, not retaliate when emotions flare. This isn't just about one bad decision. It's about an officer who shows no remorse, no self-awareness, and zero understanding of public trust. Threatening arrest in response to a victim's raw, emotional reaction only magnifies the initial abuse.
You should have arrested him.
As you know,
You should have arrested him. Wait till you see the footage.
we can't arrest anyone, as you know. As a piece
You
of-
can't know. They should have arrested him.
So what you can do, if you want to make a complaint.
Well, I've never
there is a
experienced
process.
anything like him.
Well, I haven't seen
Ever,
it. Let me
mate.
hear what you said.
Ever. You know I'm sound reviews when you say sound.
So you know what?
I've never experienced
Let me
that.
just say one thing.
He is a dangerous police officer. He should
say
not be
one
in the
thing to
police.
you.
You should not be in the police. You are a dangerous police officer. You are a dangerous police officer. You should not be in a front-facing role. You should not be going out the public. You are disgusting. You are a shame.
Stand back.
Shameful. Shameful! You should not be a front-facing officer to the public. You are a danger to the public, my friend. You're the reason people like me exist, because of people like you.
You know that as well as me, this place is covered in cameras. Okay? So, ergo, if you have a complaint, and you're an auditor, you probably feel...
I've got it on film, yeah, I will.
Mr. What can I call you?
Just call me DP.
DP.
Or Paul, call me Paul.
So, if you want to make a complaint, which really right, whatever happened will be covered in cameras, won't it?
Yeah, he cannot be in a role as a police officer, I'm sorry.
What I would suggest...
I'm not having a go at you, that was outrageous.
What I would suggest is, after an incident like that, our adrenaline is high, which can lead to action...
Nah, when you see the footage, there's no excuse for his behaviour then. Initially.
Whatever's happened is happened.
This kind of excuse from the second officer is deeply troubling and frankly dangerous. To downplay a clear assault by saying our adrenaline is high is not only dismissive, but it attempts to normalize violence and misconduct from those who are trained specifically to remain calm under pressure. Police officers are not civilians in a street fight. They are professionals entrusted with authority and expected to rise above emotion, not be driven by it. Saying, whatever has happened, is a clear attempt to sweep misconduct under the rug and avoid accountability. Imagine if a member of the public pushed an officer and used that same excuse. It wouldn't fly. Yet here we have a police officer using it to justify unlawful force against someone exercising their rights. That double standard is what breeds public distrust.
But just try and bring...
Nothing's going to get done about it.
Hang on, no.
Nothing's going to get done about it.
So whatever's happened, you would try and just get your adrenaline down, carry on with what you're doing, auditing, whatever, seeing what's going on, videoing.
Yeah.
And then...
Where's the police presence,
when your adrenaline is high, you can react to things that you won't normally react to.
To be honest with that copper then, the reason I snapped at him, because the way he was talking to this fella here was the most... Honestly, you know what I'm like, Will. If you sound, I'm sound with you. This was the most outrageous thing I've seen from a police officer in probably my life, Will. And I've been beaten up by you and everything. That was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Shameful, and I hope he's reprimanded when you get back to the station. I hope you tell him that he's wrong in what he's doing, and do what your college of policing tells you to call your fellow officers out. That's the professionalism you need to do, because of these sort of things, them coppers is ruining your relations with the public. So you need to tell them, and I hope you do, Will, because that was disgusting, mate.
The auditor hits the nail on the head. He's pointing directly at one of the biggest failures in modern policing, the silence of bystanders in uniform. The College of Policing's own code of ethics emphasizes integrity, accountability, and challenging unprofessional behavior, and that includes speaking up when a fellow officer crosses the line. Every time one of them gets away with violence or abuse, it widens the divide and undermines the professionalism of those trying to do the job the right way. The public sees everything, and silence is as loud as action. Officers must be brave enough to hold each other to the standards they're sworn to uphold. Otherwise, their badge loses meaning, and their role as public servants becomes nothing more than a title.
This was the worst attitude I've seen from a police officer in my entire life. And I grew up ghetto and shit.
I'm not saying you're lying, I'm not saying it didn't happen, I'm just saying I'm surprised. And that's
well,
being really straight.
You'll still see the footage anyway, and you're going to be in shock. Yeah, and you know what I'm like? I was telling him, at first he kind of relaxed a little bit, and then I think his ego took back over. Right. And then he had to start.
It's really surprising. As long as you're alright.
No, I'm alright.
That's the most important thing.
Tell him all KHNK solicitors will be in contact with him soon. Tell him the solicitors will be in contact with him soon, man. Oh, and I will go to the ISP, all that, right? Go through them methods. I want him removed as his role as a police officer. After that today, he should not be a police officer. I know he's your friend, Will, but I'm sorry, he shouldn't. It's dangerous. Can't be having danger like that.
The auditor's decision to take this case to HNK solicitors marks a serious step forward in holding this officer accountable, and rightfully so. What we witnessed was not a grey area or a split-second judgment call. It was a clear abuse of power. The officer violently shoved the auditor to the ground simply for telling him to act professionally. That wasn't lawful force. That wasn't necessary. It was an outburst of ego and aggression from someone who should be trained to handle pressure, not escalate it. Throughout the interaction, the officer continued to compound his failure. He refused to identify himself, a basic requirement for transparency and accountability. Without that, how could the public report misconduct or file a complaint? Then, when the auditor reacted emotionally, and understandably so, the officer threatened to arrest him for swearing. But the auditor was right to shut that down by pointing out the higher threshold of behavior expected when addressing a police officer. The law doesn't exist to protect officers' egos. It exists to protect people from abuse of power, especially from those in uniform. This was not just about language, it was about a victim responding to assault and still being gaslighted. To make matters worse, another officer defended the assault, citing adrenaline as justification, as if police brutality is somehow excusable under stress. That kind of mindset is dangerous. Officers are trained to manage stress, not use it to justify harm. And when the auditor asked the remaining officers to call out misconduct, he touched on a vital issue: the culture of silence. Policing relies on trust. When officers turn a blind eye to wrongdoing in their own ranks, they damage that trust irreparably. This wasn't just one rogue officer. It was a collective failure to confront and correct unacceptable behavior. This episode exposed not just a physical abuse of power, but a deeper institutional rot, a lack of accountability, transparency, and empathy. The auditor stood firm, refused to be intimidated, and is now seeking justice through legal means. And he's not just fighting for himself, he's standing up for every member of the public who expects better from those sworn to serve. I'll keep you all updated as this case moves forward. One thing's clear, this officer must be held accountable. There is no place in policing for anyone who treats the public like this. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue with my independent coverage. Also, don't forget to check out DP Audits. His channel is linked in the description. Show him some love. Thanks for watching. This was Rate the Audits, and I'll see you in the next one.